It's me, Michael C., the source of life, over the mic. My guests and I will share our stories and experiences. Now on the show today we have Miss Katie Doolette. We're going to talk about her as an art teacher and a female firefighter, and a lot more. Let's sit back and relax. You already know what time it is. Let's go get them. Ha ha! We're back! We're back! You know who it is. Michael C., the source of life, over the mic. Just sit back and relax, y'all. I'm going to introduce you to my guest. My guest is artistic. She's beautiful. She's funny. And surprisingly, she's a female firefighter. I want to introduce you to Miss Katie Doolette. Welcome to the Skybox, girl!
Hello.
All right, all right. You already know. Let's get right into it. Let's just get right into it, all right? What got you into firefighting?
Well, I'm actually third generation firefighter.
Mm.
So my dad was a firefighter and my grandfather was a firefighter. And the state of Pennsylvania runs a junior program.
Okay.
And when you turn 14, you can join the junior program. So at 14, he looked at me and said, "You want to go to the firehouse?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like a fun time." So I kind of just like came with him to the firehouse.
So have you always lived in the firehouse since you were a little girl?
I was raised in a firehouse, all but. When I was 1 to 3, our house was the house next to the firehouse.
Oh, so you always heard the sirens all the time at any time. You could be sleeping, you just heard them.
The one of the funny stories my parents used to tell me as a kid was they took me to hearing specialists as an infant repeatedly because I would sleep through the house siren.
I would want, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How long have you been a firefighter?
Since I was 14, so about 13 years.
Ooh.
I think a little bit over that.
Where are you stationed?
So I volunteer with Campbelltown Volunteer Fire Company in Lebanon County.
Oh.
Station 2.
There it is. There it is. Let's go through a situation right now. I want to ask you this because, I mean, when it comes to being a firefighter, the first thing besides fire I think about is that one equipment. That's heavy.
It's hot.
It's very hot.
It's like wearing a snowsuit in summer.
That's a great description.
Different kinds of fabrics
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that you don't get burnt or heat exposure.
Right.
So you can sweat a lot.
A whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah, you can toast.
You're an art teacher.
Correct.
At Melrose Elementary School. Stand up. And again, you're a firefighter. How do you feel that all intertwines?
So I like to preach that the skills you learn in art go outside of the art room. A huge component of art is being observant, looking at what you're doing, being aware of what's around you. Are you using markers? How are you using the markers? Are you drawing something? You have to really look at that thing that you're drawing to be able to draw it well. You use those same observational skills in the fire service. You have to be situationally aware. You have to know where the power lines are. You have to know what building is next to the one that's involved. You have to be aware of who you're with, what you're doing. Those powers of observation that you can practice in art, you can take to the fire service.
God, look at you. Look at you. How does it feel as a female firefighter? Because you're around, let's keep it real. I mean, it's dominated by men, but you're a chick, you don't take shit. You don't take that shit. So, how does it feel as a female firefighter?
I think growing up in it kind of helped because I've been around firehouses since I was born. When we lived in Winfield, when we lived in Milton, I've been around firehouse environment since I was alive.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely helps. Honestly, my department's pretty good with it. I've been the only female at my department steadily for the entire time that I've been volunteering there. Like other females have come in and left, or they'll do fire police stuff or just EMS work. But my guys really treat me nicely. For the vast
cool.
Majority, I can count on my guys.
There you go.
I think also growing up there helps. I look up to a lot of them as like not like a dad because my dad was there, but like I look up to those guys who were there before I was, who are older than me, and I know that they've got my back and they've helped teach me so much.
I know that's right. All right, what are some of the obstacles that you had to overcome as a female firefighter?
On my size, I'm not tall, and I'm not a big like 6 foot beefy dude. I've had to figure out how to do the same tasks that is expected of me in a way that I can accomplish just as quickly as everyone else.
Right.
So lifting and dragging, I've had to do a lot of practice and make sure that like I can do it just as efficiently as the other guys. Sometimes that requires like modifications for me because I lift way more with my legs, where they'll just lift with their arms because their arms are like ginormous.
Right.
Um,
Let me ask you this: when it comes down to the fiercest fire you've ever had to go through, walk me through that with me.
I mean, I've been firefighting for almost 13 years. I've seen been on a lot of calls. I think one that like really stands out is we have a sawmill near us that likes to repeatedly catch fire. And the one night we had been dispatched for a motor vehicle accident, somewhere between like 9 and 10. We were at the motor vehicle accident where a car ripped an axle apart, lost a tire. And I was hunting down for the tire, and I remember we're walking up the street, and I could see the glow on the other side of the hill from the sawmill. And I was like, that is not good. And we wrapped up that accident call so fast, and I remember getting to that scene, and you're just like, ah, sawmill on fire. It's definitely on fire this time. That's for sure. I have some pictures I can share with you. What wound up being on fire that time was like skids of pallets and wood that was like being stored had caught fire. And when we got there, that was set down maybe like 30 feet down like a hill.
Mm-hmm.
And from where we were, there was a telephone pole, and the flames from down there were shooting above the top of the telephone pole.
Oh,
just like,
it was like an inferno.
That was a Lebanon County all call for tankers. And we were there for a very long time.
How long?
Till the next morning. And we left that call for a barn fire. It was like a triple hitter for fire calls.
You've had one of those days where it was just like bam, bam.
Yeah, we didn't sleep. We didn't. I remember. I think I passed out on the steps into the engine for like 20 minutes, and I woke up and people were like snacking on MREs. But that was a long call with a lot of fire that we had to put out. I'll show you those pictures. And I remember, I think one of the like craziest parts of being there, they have what's called dust bins because it's a mill, and it's just huge metal box of a building where they just throw the sawdust in from a conveyor belt into that room. And it's a warehouse size room, and me and another fire guy were sent in with thermal imaging cameras to monitor it to make sure it wasn't getting too hot, because the right hand side of it flanked where the bulk of the fire was. We didn't want it to flash because dust will do what's called a dust explosion, which is not good, if it gets really hot. And so I remember we started at the entrance and we're walking with our thermal imaging cameras, checking the wall, and all of a sudden we're in it, like deep in it, and all of a sudden our thermal imaging cameras spike, and I was like, "Did you see that?" And he's like, "Yeah, that wall just got like way hotter." And I was like, "We should
get on out.
We should back out and get a handline in here." And the second we got out, we were like, "Hey, yo, guys, we need a handline in here because this is getting very hot. We should cool this down." And we saw the glow in the back corner next to where the conveyor belt entered into that dustbin, and we're like,
"That's where it came from."
We're like, "Yep."
A lot of stuff, girl.
That was all one night.
Oh my God. I got 2 more questions and we're gonna ride out, all right?
Sounds good.
Wow. What have you learned about yourself as a firefighter?
I've learned that physically I can do way more than I ever thought. If you would ask me as a 10-year-old, do you think you could like drag hose up and down a ladder or haul a fallen firefighter up and down a flight of stairs? I'd have been like, "You're crazy. Look at me, I'm small."
Right.
I'm 5'0", man. I've proven to myself that I can do it. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything.
And last question, where do you see yourself in 1 year? And where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, in 1 year, I hope that I am still doing the things that I love, doing the teaching at Melrose and firefighting with my Campbelltown firehouse. I'm pretty happy where I'm at right now.
That's good. That's good.
Finally get that teaching job.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
5 years? I don't know. Maybe owning a house.
There you go.
That'd be
That's
cool.
what's up. Yeah, man. As you can see, I mean.
Housing market crazy, but you know. Oh man.
I'm glad I got in where I fit in.
You lucky. You lucky. House going for $400,000.
I know that's right. I know that's right. You got any shout outs?
I mean, you did my shout outs. Hey, Melrose.
You already know what it is. Well, I'm going to shout out to you. You know who it is, little funny guy. You know who you are, Nico. What's going on with you, guy? You know who it is when it comes to Pappy. You know who it is, fella. What's up, man? You know who it is. But if you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns, hit me up at the number one, SkyBoxx at gmail.com. If you're on your favorite podcast or YouTube, all you have to do is search the SkyBoxx. Remember, hit that like and subscribe button. It's only $3.99. And if you're on Facebook, all you have to do is search me, Micheal C. or Micheal Curtis, Ficheal Curtis. If you're on IG, all you have to do is search at SkyBoxx5. I want to thank Katie Roulette for coming through the SkyBoxx and blessing us with all her insight about firefighting and a lot more. And I am Micheal C., the source of life over the mic. And also remember, be good to yourself, y'all. Miss Roulette showed it doesn't matter how strong you are or how tall you are. It matters about the passion that you have for what you believe in. Miss Roulette, you are a role model to some and a hero for everyone. These are my final thoughts. Micheal C., the source of life over the mic. And also remember, be good to yourself, y'all. Thanks for watching the SkyBoxx. And click one of these 3 videos that relate to the SkyBoxx. And also remember, be good to yourself, y'all.